Beautiful and lovely darlings, it's a good day to Prince. We're going to do it in the bluest of ways by hitting continue. We are on 3-digit number of days. Now, I have spent the last about month doing nothing but playing through tons of Age of Empires 2. I had an absolute blast. Oh, I thought I was at the 100 mark. Amazing. Yeah, let's get that ambiance in. I spent the last 4 months or so playing in Hera's Streamer Invitational Tournament. And even though I wasn't able to mark nearly the number of hours as many of the folks who played in the tournament, dude, it is one of my favorite things I've ever done in my entire life. Playing in that invitational tournament. It was so fun. I cannot stress enough that I think that what actually is the most esports thing of all time is people who are not that good competing. That's what it's about. That's what it's about. It's having a little in-house tournament with you and 10 of your buddies. That's what it's about. And just getting the chance to play and be someone who's not that good at Age of Empires, playing and competing. I won a round that felt awesome. I won't spoil anything more than that, and you'll see. But I have those VODs uploaded to my channel. I just want to give a huge thanks to Hera and to all the Age of Empires 2 players and pros for helping everyone out so much and being so wonderful. So I'm going to be continuing to play Age of Empires 2 regularly for the rest of the year, and I'm very interested in trying to hit 2K MMR. That's my goal in Age of Empires 2 right now. But since it's been a minute, we're going to return to playing Blue Prince today. I'm also going to be continuing to sneak in other RTS titles, as is Year of Dota 2. And I want to talk about some of my goals today in Blue Prince to get reoriented on this. Let me go ahead and get my money. The sacred hour is 1:30 a.m. We saw it all over the place, and I was thinking to myself, I think I need to wait in an area with a lot of clocks, because in the 46th room, there is a key that is high up with all the clocks. And I waited till 1:30 a.m. in the den, and nothing happened. So I was thinking to myself, what other rooms could it be? I had some candidate rooms, but, nothing quite seems to be as good of a candidate as the clock tower, whose room image is set to 1:30 a.m. So we're going to be doing some waiting here, which is why I'm in no real hurry to get to the end of this game. Or, excuse me, the end of this run. Excuse me. So, there's some things that are of interest to me. I have 3 rooms that are missing in the Explorer's Trophy. There's the Trophy of Drafting, when the drafting strategy sweepstakes. I've unlocked 4 of the Realm Sigils. I don't know what Dare Mode or Curse Mode, or even how I would do Day 1 mode. I don't know what those things even are. But some of the goals that I have are the following. I want to revisit Room 46 to reread the poems and have myself a think. I want to melt the freezer to just get the password to the mainframe again to read some stuff in there. Because I know that I have access to the Grotto's stuff. And there's going to be a lot more exploring and poking and prodding and looking around, because there's also a number of letters that I have yet to get. As we go to the tab menu, I have 6 out of 8. Bonfire Alexis, how do you know it's AM? I don't. But there were references to a disappearance in the middle of the night that I'm connecting to the sacred hour. Also, I'm so happy to be playing this game again. I've been working really, really hard this year. Insanely hard. Probably the hardest I have ever worked this year. The only time that I've had to game is when I am streaming. Why not? Closing my eyes. go take a peek over at her ladyship, which I believe is right around this corner. Yeah, I mean, this is in Erajan. There's words I don't understand here. I can stumble my way through a translation, but I wasn't able to really get that much. It sounded like a goodbye note. Now, one of the reasons why I'm going here is that I suspect that I'm going to have a lot of time to kill. I suspect I'm going to have some time to kill, and I really, really want to figure out how to open this door to the underground. I really, really want to figure this out. Before I do anything else too much, I just want to give some shout-outs over here. Shout-outs to Lady Morgana for 132 months. That's 11 years. Lef. Happy 132 months, happy 11 years. It's 11 years and still going. Dude, Lef. I want to give it also I have 2 shout-outs individually to those 2 individuals. First of all, Morgana. All the cheer and love and the Mostly Walking Wiki. That it makes me feel so... It's really special to me. I really appreciate all the work that you do for that wiki. I'm regularly there, and it's something that makes the experience of doing those shows with 2 of my dear friends, Sean and Lee, it makes it feel more real and more like it exists. And this is a sort of quality that I sometimes miss in streaming. I don't get it very much. Like, if I do a stream, it's here and then it's gone. It's very ephemeral, and it feels like a nice little artifact to represent it. It's really nice. And Lef, for help with some of that one personal project, I really appreciate enormously. In fact, I will send you a message later about it, in fact. Oh. So, I don't know if this is intended to look different, but it does look different. Is there something here? Is it one of these? I'm pretty sure that this arrow, it appears to be hung very deliberately. There's the entrance right there that we're trying to get into. So, let me do a little cheater move. See how there's a bunch of candles here? Candle, candle, candle. Lots of candles, lots of candles. Are there anything that are cylindrical that are not candles here? Looks a little like a candle. Can't get on my 2 tippy toes here. But what's interesting to me is that this is not cylindrical. It doesn't look like it's a wick. This looks different here than these ones do. And if I just trace that down here, I wonder if I need a tool here. Alright. I might need a light. And because I can't wait for Mostly Walking Stream's retirement with Grandpa Sean struggling to solve puzzle and Grandma Lee doing the most nasty riffing. Yeah, getting brutal reads. Lockwat says, I've been here for 11 years and haven't helped Dana do anything. This is what being a mooch is? Are you kidding me? Doing nothing but helping out. Subbing for 11 years is a substantial sum of money, so you helped give me my career, so I'm the one who should be grateful to you, of course, Lockwats. All right. What a good way to begin a run, huh? Parlor room. Pick that up second to avoid misclicks. The blue box has 2 false statements. The box with 2 true statements has the gems. The black box has a false statement. The gems are not in the box with 2 false statements. The white box has a true statement. The black box has a true statement. Woo! Woo! Okay. The blue box has 2 false statements. The box with 2 true statements has the gems. Okay. Let's assume that this first statement is true. The blue box has 2 false statements. The white box... Let me do this again. The blue box has 2 false statements. So the white box has a true statement. No, it doesn't. The black box has a true statement. No, it doesn't. That immediately contradicts this first statement. That immediately contradicts this first statement, right? Because the blue box had 2 false statements. If we assume that this is true, it contradicts the statement. The black box has a true statement. It immediately contradicts itself. Okay. So we know for a fact this first statement is false. The blue box has at least 1 true statement. We can say that for Soyton. The box with 2 true statements has the gems. Whether this is true, so if this is true, it's not in this box. If it's false, could be here. Hey, I just glanced over at chat and saw the spray. That means it's time for me to hit the button. No tips, no spoilers, none of this. Okay, so we can make no statement about this second one yet. The black box has a false statement. We know for a fact that this is true, because we've already determined definitively that this is false. The gems are not in the box with 2 false statements. So let's think about this. So the blue box has 2 false statements. The black box has a false statement. We know that that's true. The white box has a true statement. We know that that's true. So right now, what have we done? We've identified the half falsity and truthhood of each thing. This is definitely half false. This is definitely at least half true. Black box is false statement. We know that that's true. We know that this first statement is true. Okay. So what if this is the fully true box? The black box has a true statement. If this is fully true, then that means this is a false statement and this is a true statement. But then this would be a true statement, which means that there would be no fully false box, which is a contradiction. In other words, this black box must be half true, half false. If it's fully false, we have a contradiction because we've already confirmed the white box has a true statement. So this has to be a true statement on the top and a false statement on the bottom. The black box has a true statement. No, it doesn't. That means both of these are false. So that means this first one is false. This also means the second one is false. The box with 2 true statements has the gems. The box with 2 true statements does not have the gems. It doesn't have the gems. So this is a fully false box. This is a half and half box, which means this is a fully true box. The gems are not in the box with 2 false statements. This is fully true. This is fully false. So the box with 2 true statements has the gems? No, it doesn't. This says that they would be in this one. No, it doesn't. So it has to be in this one. Feels good every time. 100% win rate still. Feels good every time. What happens if you get it wrong? I immediately quit my career as a streamer. I immediately burst into tears. I mean, if I lose it, I'll actually probably just cry. I'll just probably sit down and cry. Do you wait to pick up the key so you don't accidentally open the box? Sometimes. It's very hard to convince me not to just pick shit up if I can see it. Wow. Okay. Pink is multiplication. Multiplication, subtraction, division, addition. So plus 11. And then what we do is we do minus 5, minus 2, minus 1. So this is going to be minus 6, minus 8. This is 11 minus 8 is 3. And then we do 3 squared is 9. 9 divided by 9 is 1. And then if you add 11 to that, you will receive 12. So what we're going to do is we're first going to go negative 1. We're going to multiply that by 10. So then we have negative 10. We're then going to add 11 to that to get 1. And then we square 1. So we get 1. In to out, I believe. So we're going to add 10. Then what we're going to do is we're going to subtract a total of 4 to get 6. 6 squared is 36. We then round 36 to the tens place, to the second digit, because we're rounding it to the second digit. That's what the two wavy lines means. 36 gets rounded to 40. 40 divided by 10 is 4. Sauce is what in the flying F is going on. If you haven't been watching this series, you have no idea what's occurring. You just type "what" in all caps. What is going on? I'm actually going to get the storeroom instead of the conservatory. Getting dinged. This could be good. Geist bedroom. Die. What I'm rolling for, I don't really know. You know, there's another thing that we could go for, which is the chess puzzle underneath. I've left it as the knight for ages. I don't even know what the other benefits are. So let's go for this. So we have a pawn and a bishop. And this room, I believe, also has the pawn up there. Yeah. Continue to get dinged. Don't even give a damn. I mean, I always get so many resources from this one. And you get the knight in there. Because then we have, like, knight, pawn, bishop. Okay. Is Britt still playing this? No, she started playing Pocopia, and nothing was ever the same. I mean, I can actually get the most circuitous route ever. Rook in the nook, pawn, bishop, knight. So we're really looking for studies and offices at this point. So, I mean, I don't see a reason not to just do this. East Wing Hall is totally acceptable to me. May as well acquire more resources. Well, you know, I guess I'll just redraw till I hit the study, right? Attic is pretty juiced, I'm not gonna lie. Armory might be helpful for our tomb theory. We're trying out theories right now. We have the shield, we have... This can light things, yeah. See no reason to delay. Alright, was this not a criticism or suggestion? I'm curious why you are choosing to spend stars instead of dice here. Because when I have 50 stars, that means that if I go to the observatory again, I do not get any bonuses. And if I'm not getting any bonuses, that's going to give me reduced resources in future runs. So what I want to do is I want to spend it down to around 40, so that way I'm getting all the wonderful benefits of going to the observatory, which I often do early on in runs. So this is my theory, that I could maybe light this. See anything on this? Is there perhaps a torch that is not yet lit? I wonder how you open the tomb. It appears I'm wrong. Again, we're happy to kill time because we're trying to stay up till 1:30, you know? It would be very funny to me if it was actually just like a switch here and you just like hit it, it just opens up, and I'm like, nice, I hit the switch. Good job, me. Good job, Day9. Alright. I mean, this is just so conspicuous. Alright. In the words of myself, fuck. Light the candle. Phil says, hi, Sean. Happy to see the Prince in blue. Dude, me as well. So, we have a number of theories that we're working with. The most notable one is, of course, the clock tower. Well, what information or occurrences led you to the conclusion that stars beyond 50 provide no rewards? That is an awfully leading question. We'll allow it. I believe I haven't tested it. But I have tested using it and getting the buy down. It's great. Raw Fury Games. Oh my god, is that D-Mart on the other side of that? I don't know if it is or not, but hello. Raw Fury says, you started writing things down yet? I have not. Conference room could be good. I'm a madman. I'm more like a Chad man. More like I'm Batman. It's not even clear to me what I'm looking for here. Why not? Batteries. Yay, my tomb reward. I mean, I guess a bedroom? Like, it doesn't really matter. It's not clear for me yet what I'm really looking for on this side. Why not redraw? Love me the den. Love it. Love the den. Can I light these fuses? Are these lightable fuses? Lightable fuses, lightable fuses. So, I mean, again, what's the key that I have? Yeah, let's silver key it. I will Knight's Shield this. You know, there's this one. Fenaries. Oh, I hate when there's floor shit in this room. I can never see it. Oh, thank God. I'm trying to think, where could there even be clues? Where could there even be clues? I'm going to do Rumpus Room, because I actually don't know what chess piece is in here. I wish my guy would talk again. We reboot my guy? Is there no chess piece in this room? Is there no chess piece in this room? There has to be a chess piece. Oh my God, it's right there. A laboratory. I think I just might do the pantry. You know, I'm going to redraw the floor plans. I can get the office or her ladyship's chamber. We solved this one through permutations and then understood the logic later. How do I want to do this? So I'm going to go for her ladyship's chamber on this side. So the office is something that I could be looking for. I mean, this is perfectly fine. Just buy it out. Why not? Dirigiblocks. Man, would be so sick to get. Yamato cannon. Yes! My favorite cannon of all time. Day9 just saying hello. We should do Team AoE games sometime. Enjoy your stream. I would love to do some Team AoE games. I was just... Holy shit, I don't know if you know Yamato, but I'm going to spend the rest of this year grinding towards 2K. Among other things. So, some excuses to do some collaborative AoE 2 content. Oh, shit! I would be so thrilled. What a delight it is to see you on our little corner of the internet. Alright, security is fine. It's totally acceptable. Just someone with red phosphor U played with Sing Sing in the gang yesterday. Oh, dude, AoE 2 team games I've actually never played, but that seems insanely fun. I am going to go to the laboratory, so that way I can start up an experiment. Excalibur says, damn, that makes Day9 grubby and Pig attempting the 2K grind. Yeah. Yeah, yes it does. Experiment setup. Let's do this. Yeah, let's do this. Alright, so now I need to do this. Keycard system settings. Low, offline mode. Unlocked, confirm setting. Okay, so what I want is for this to be her ladyship's chamber. Great. What is this? What is the ability on this? Next time you enter the boudoir, gain steps. Of course, we get the queen here. What is this? Really? I don't even know if I've ever gotten that before. What is this? Now this is interesting. This says observable effect. So sleep duration twice the usual. So what's the usual? And comfort, let's see. So this is 2.5 hours. This is twice the usual. So I think if I go to the bunk room for 5 hours. This morning I went to the family tomb to visit the grave and was surprised to find a flower already laid. I want to test this. I want to do the servants' quarters for 1 hour. How did I unlock the diary? If you get a candle lighter mechanism, you can click upon some candles in the tomb, which reveals the secret resting place for Lady Epson, and behind her photograph is the key to her diary. That looks like the path to the outer room, which is an outer tomb. Very curious about this. Any weird, mysterious notes written around here somewhere? I think I'm going to do 5 hours in the bunk room coming up here soon. It's a good one to do. 5 hours in the bunk. What a hottie. Is there a clock in here somewhere? Such that I might get the ability to know how long I'm in this room? I think no is the answer. We do have a queen, a bishop, a pawn, a knight, and a rook. So all we each need is an office. All you need is an office. I'd love to use a key. So we're still lacking on some of the other critical ways to open. I'm pretty sure I already did this puzzle. I'm pretty sure. I'm going to go down to 40 as my target. May as well do the hallway, I think. What are you getting the chess pieces for? We have determined that we can do a rearrangement. Also, I'm like low as fuck on steps. Whoops. I mean, that's literally right back here, so may as well go in. Victim of macabre obsession says, can you one day do a Morrowind playthrough? I think if I ever find the ability to do a sabbatical in my life, I will do it. And what's a sabbatical, you say? It would be if my game studio is doing sufficiently self-sufficient that I could fully step away for some period of time. All right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to do the secret passage. And we're going to go to a gold sink. Oof, I hate that. All right, last redraw with this, and then we are definitely looking for the tower. This is one of the rooms that I was interested in getting, because I can get a major key from here. All right, well, that doesn't help me that much. Okay. Office. Okay, we have a problem, because right now we are very low on steps. We're very low on steps. We now have everything that we need to rearrange the underground. This is not good. All these are not good. So this would be 2 doors, I think is right. 39 feels fine to me. Passageway, thank you very much. Literally, I think I'm actually just looking for the commissary. I think that's basically it. Don't exactly want to do this one. I'm going to redraw with the dice now. Passageway is really good. Oy. That sucks. Right now I'm looking for some food. Let's do this, because then I can do more redraws for food, and it often has an apple. Okay. Total of 2 redraws. I can immediately get 10 more steps, but I don't think that's good enough for what I'm going for. That's good enough for what I'm going for. That's really good. Ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling. Have dinner. Let's use a regular key here. Okay, so I'm going to do the casino, because then I can use the prism key to help me get all the things that I want. Is there anything else actually hidden and mysterious in here? I realize I've not actually done a thorough investigation of this room. Why are you not locked? You're supposed to be locked. Hmm. So I really need the clock tower, but I think it needs to be an internal node. That'll do it. Don't know why I walked into here. Morley Man! With the 25 gifted subs, oh my god, Morley Man. Jesus. Thank you, Morley Man. Holy guacamole. I'm gonna go here, try to get some floor snacks. Thank you for the 25 gifts. That's a lot. Jesus. To what do we owe the great honor? I know I'm a little bit dialed into princing. Well, this is, I almost prefaced my stars question earlier with, I know you hate spoilers, and I'm not telling you that you're wrong. LOL. Shooting late, and the first thing I heard you say was that Stars Beyond 50 didn't help, so I was just wondering what I missed. In the future, I'll try to keep my nubile mind in check and keep questions like that to myself. Oh, what a great nubile mind reference. No, I mean, that's why I was like, oh, wow, because I was like, dude, you know, that's actually a really hard thing to ask, which is like, what are the observations that are leading you to this conclusion that you said? I think it was fine. I was jesting a little bit. I don't want to guilt you into giving me subs. Still saying Nubile Mine as one of my greatest moments. This entire playthrough of this game has been greatest hit after greatest hit. Nubile Mine was so great. It was so great, dude. Fan Very says, I told my wife the Nubile Mine story the other day. She's with you, Sean. She didn't realize the definition either. Dude, thank you. It's crazy to me. Does nubile mean like young? See? That's kind of roughly what I thought. Depth and breadth of Seth. Because I thought nubile meant sort of like young and like underdeveloped, you know, like, you know, kind of almost like juvenile, you know? What it means is, and let me look this up exactly, because I was saying, oh yes, my young and nubile mind, you know. So here's what the word nubile means. And I looked up nubile, and it gave me the translation from Italian to English. AI is not helping me. Okay, I'm not looking for the whatever nubile means in Italian. Yeah. Here's what nubile means. It means sexually attractive, used of a young woman, such as a nubile starlet, of marriageable condition or age. That's what nubile means. I literally thought it meant young. And apparently now Google thinks that I'm trying to get it to teach me fucking Italian. Even Gemini knows less about this word than I fucking do, you know? Morley Man says, I was with you, which is, I think, I was conflating nubile and infantile. Well, there's a lot of words that kind of sound like that, like juvenile, infantile, you know. That was clutch, getting that it's always unlocked. Kitchen. Workshop, Chamber of Mirrors. I mean, I'd love the kitchen. What is it that I can even build here? Yeah, what happens if I use the... Oh, I can't. Okay. Oh yeah, that one's pretty funny. That's right, because if I do the shovel and the battery, I get a jackhammer. It's coin purse and the rabbit's foot, right? This is the one that I haven't used enough. This is what I want, and I want that to be the clock tower. This room is every color. So what I would really love is an opportunity to get to room 46. This is major if drafted quite late, but we're not going to do it. Yeah, I'm actually going to keep spending stars. I think this is just a strictly good decision to go down on stars. This is a fucking nightmare. Let's see. So this would be my second, because I have third, 1, 2, 3. I just don't want it to miss out on this right hall. I have the workshop. 1, 2. Oh, wait, this is 1. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 5. Oh, we actually have 5 doors. I'm not paying attention. Dag in the door. Dude, this is really nice. This is a really nice luck out, because I really wanted to get into that room today. So again, I'm going to try to make my clock tower room. I don't mind if I do. Okay. Cool. The sound pick amplifier is just so juiced. Courtyard is an incredible pickup for us here. I can't actually believe that I am legitimately still in this. Dude, that foyer in the top corner. So saved. So save we all. So let's see. Some things that I need now. I really do need the commissary. Or the kitchen, is what I meant to say. And that I got anyways, because the game knows what I mean, not what I'm saying. I really want more steps. I don't even think I have a green room outside of, like, the aquarium. Oh, yeah, the courtyard that I just went into. Yeah. $65. Yeah, I will do this. Because I think that now that I can go outside without going through the rooms, I think that I can save some steps in that way. Silver key, right? Prism key matches. Let's use a silver key. Gift shop, no problem. Blue tents fit for blueprints. It's so cute. By the way, Raw Fury kindly as a gift gave me the collector's edition of this game. So I have all the great stuff. Literally, this is why I like Raw Fury. After I streamed the game, they offered to send me one with no strings, no conditions, none of this other stuff. There do exist companies, and I don't think there's anything wrong with this, but there's like, hey, we would love to send you a thing and have you open it and show it off, and then stream the game, and this is part of the sponsorship deal sort of thing. This is okay. This is like a normal, fine thing. Give me that. But also, you know, there are companies such as Raw Fury that are just like, hey, dude, we just think you'll think this is cool, and thank you for playing our game. It's just really nice. Actually, I'll use the prism key to get another green door so I can turn... Wait, did I just eat? That's really good for me. Did I eat the club sandwich? Did I say I was going to get more green rooms and then just eat the club sandwich anyways? I think I did, didn't I? Can someone actually spoiler that for me? Because I want to save 2 steps. You ate it all? Yeah, I'm sure I did. Yep, that does sound like me. Gosh, this Day9 character, he just can't stop putting shit in his mouth. He didn't think before he said that. It's true. Okay. Now this is on the 6th rank. Okay. 7th is major if drafted quite late. I still feel like if you do it last or something. So we're looking for the time room. Well, good thing I got 35 mulligans. Got it. So we will be able to wait here until the end of the day. I'm gonna take my sweet-ass time, so we gotta find out what... Literally has that right there. Southward I see a swan, ashen like the sands of the shore, carried by westwardly winds, rogue like the moon of the north. Eastward I see a crow. Dark are the days coming forth. South? West? North? East? 4. Because this is not F-O-R-T-H, this is F-O-U-R-T-H. Southward I see a swan. Ashen like sands of the shore. Carried by westwardly winds, rogue like the moon of the north. Eastward, I see a crow. Southwest, northeast. We got some time here, huh? So right now it's just coming up on 4 in the afternoon, so we have 8 more hours of this. This is it. We're waiting here, right? This is the solution. It has to be. Has to be. The 3-hour YouTube VOD. I know. This is the hell that I want to be trapped in, if we're being entirely honest. So if I just go up and over and in, I can first... Alright, so we have some stuff to do. No, I'm going to change my mind on this. So we have enough steps. We have a couple paths we can take. We have the ability to get to the 46th room. This is one of these things where sometimes I like to just click to see stuff. Yeah, see, the first key found here on the furthest rank. Found it. Second one locked up tight in the vault of the bank. Got it. Third is high up among all the clocks. That's what we're doing tonight. The fourth down below beneath all the docks. Already got that one. The fifth key is held by a king on his throne. I have no idea what that could be. The sixth in a station left by one of your own. The seventh is major if you draft it quite late. Last key is waiting behind the last door of 8. See, we did find the one. That's in the Mechanarium. And see, this is set to 130. These are all set at 130. And I'm sure that what I do is I unlock the sigils below, come back here, and write the order of the journey based upon the postcards. What? 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 Where is this? Oh! Have I seen this before? Maybe I've seen this before. I don't remember if I've seen this before at all. Huh. Now, where could 8 safes be? Why not? Now here's where we get to be. This game was so frustrating, you not seeing it, that it got you a bug to show it. Yeah, right? I can see through tables. All right. Alright. Jacko says move over tunnel vision. We've got table vision. That's right. Table vision is so good. Alright. Okay, so it's like this room here. Where were these again? Does this light up when it shows? That's interesting. Okay, so here's the lady ship's chamber. And then this is here, and this is here, and he was here. Oh, I guess I could have just looked at my map. Alright. You reach rank 8, you may choose this, gain the power of that piece till the next day. No. Already have this. Each time you draft a room on the queen side west wing of your house, lose that and gain that. Each time you choose a color, rooms of the chosen color are more likely to be drawn while drafting. Is this? You do not have to pay tithes and study in 30 the first time you enter chapel each day with this power. Could be. You draw floor plans up to 4 times when drafting the 4 corners of your house. That was not a actual avenue for me at all. That didn't help me fucking a little bit. I mean, I'm gonna choose the pawn. The pawn of indecision. The ambition of the pawn. And I have successfully opened up this passage, right? This is the tomb. What happens if I light it again? Yeah. I want to say I drained the fountain. Okay. So, we go up through the foundation, open up the final room, see if we can get it to be a music room. Because the 7th is major, if drafted quite late. And then we just wait our ass in the clock tower, huh? There's an argument to be made that I could go through the tomb. Because if I go through the tomb, then I can futz around with that puzzle a little bit. Yeah, I think it's a good way to kill some time. Oh my god, I need to wait so long. I need to wait so long. All right, everyone. We're going to be doing an AMA soon. Get your questions ready. If you want to ask anything about me, my thoughts on games, on life, unusual personal questions that aren't that personal, so I don't have to answer anything too personal. Or you can just ask personal questions, and I'll comfortably say I'm not comfortable saying that if I don't want to. You know, like, let's find a way to fill some time together, you and me. Soon enough, I'm going to need to be spending a long-ass time. Don't do it now. Don't ask me any questions now. When we go up to the clock tower, that's when it's going to be question o'clock. I mean, it's literally pointing to a thing over here. Oh, this is so annoying. I have no idea why this is this way. Is it the opposite? I'm carefully scouring the regions. Johnny Pumps is now Day9 tests his desk penetrating vision. He can also look through stone walls. I wish that I could. You know, I didn't look as closely on the other side of this. Alright, I don't know. Don't know. Don't know. That does seem like the kind of thing that I might wind up. Gets me feeling stuck. Yeah, I don't think I've ever been outside when it's dark. So, Blackbridge Grotto is one that I don't really know that much about. Johnny Pumps is shocked that there's a puzzle I figured out that Day9 hasn't, given how far ahead he is. Not telling, though. Don't ask. Yeah, I assume that you're referencing the... So I'm going to go south this way. So you're referencing the tomb puzzle. Cool. So it's the last room to draft. Maybe we do want to go to... We could wait here for 5 hours and then go to the other one. I don't know if we actually have enough time for that, though. You know, I will roll down to 30. Seventh is major, drafted quite late. I think I might keep rolling to try to get the music room. Test this theory one more time. Dude, I mean, this is kind of a big mulligan for me to just keep going for the music room. Can you not get the music room on the side? I feel like you have to be able to. Oh, I'm really going deep, man. Okay. Seventh is major, drafted quite late. Okay. Okay, that'll teach me to have ideas. What could Major be referencing? I have no idea. Okay. Oh my god, we're gonna be here for a while, aren't we? It's just past 6, so we have 7 hours to go. So, I feel like I looked this up. Let's see what Gemini thinks this is in Italian. How long is a day in blueprints? Or long is an hour in blueprints? Seven and a half minutes. 7.5 minutes, which means that every 2 hours is 15 minutes. So if we need to wait for 6 hours, that's 45 minutes. Plus a little bit. This is what we're doing today. This is what we're doing today. We're hanging out. Alright. My name is Day9. AMA. AMA while we wait. AMA. Ask me whatever you want. Wapak says, have you been keeping up with MTG lately? Any thoughts on the state of the game? Okay, look. Lately, what I have been getting more interested in is Cube and Legacy. It feels more like Magic to me. I see characters I recognize, like Karn, and Ugin, Jace, Chandra. I see interactions that I'm familiar with. I think that I've talked a little bit about this with Magic the Gathering before, but let me just start from the top. So for those of you who don't know, Magic the Gathering began to do Universes Beyond, which is this idea of using other IP and making Magic sets out of it. And plainly, a lot of these I really like. you know, like some of the secret layer drops where they're like, oh, we're going to take Street Fighter and we're going to make some Street Fight characters into Magic cards. I think that's cool. The reason I think it's cool is because people have been doing this as fans forever anyways. I mean, I grew up playing StarCraft, and I have seen 1,000,001 StarCraft meets Magic the Gathering designs. Stuff like this, right? But for me, what made those things work, for me, I'm not talking about anything other than my own opinion right now, what made those Universes Beyond things work for me is that it felt like Magic was its own thing, and then there was this supplementary thing over here. I felt like I could still get Magic sets, you know, that would be taking place in Ravnica and Phyrexia. I could still get really excited about new Magic areas like Streets of New Capenna. You know, they revisited Strixhaven, which is awesome. And I mean, it's very obvious that Strixhaven is sort of like a Harry Potter, sort of, but in Magic. What if there was a sort of wizardly school, but in the Magic universe? I really like that. I like meeting these new characters in these Magic worlds. And again, I don't mind if, as a separate thing, there's some Universes Beyond stuff. But what has hurt me and my engagement with Magic is two things. One, the sheer volume of cards feels overwhelming to me. Let's imagine that all the cards were in the Magic world. You know, let me make this point second. Here's my other point. My other point is, it feels like Universes Beyond has trampled over the Magic lore and identity in so much, to where, you know, there's, when literally, yeah, no, I'm going to literally take this quote from Rubicin, who says, something about Spider-Man and Doctor Who attacking Chandra makes my brain unhappy. Yes. It's that exactly. It's this feeling that the identity and the aesthetic and the vibe has been chucked out. The one that is irking me is there's a card from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Magic set called Skateboard that can give a creature haste, and it is so powerful that it's showing up in, like, Legacy Lands decks with, you know, what's Dark Depths summons what's the name of the monster? Dark Depths is a land that if it gets enough counters removed, it summons like a 20/20 flying indestructible. Oh yeah, named Merit Lage. Yeah, again, there's a land called Dark Depths. The image is of like a monster frozen beneath the ice, and there's ways of removing counter from Dark Depths to unearth this terrifying creature named Merit Lage. And Merit Lage equips a fucking skateboard and cracks in for 20 damage. Like, something about that just it makes me go like, you know, I don't know, my brain just is kind of, Phantom says, cowabunga, dude. Yeah, no, there's something that's just a little weird. It's funny as a quip. Again, it feels okay as like as a separate thing to this, but like this sort of identity gutting. It doesn't feel like there is something alongside it. It feels like there is something that is deleting it. And then take this and combine it with the absolute insane amounts of cards being released, even if there was no Universes Beyond. The sheer volume of cards, where it feels like they're releasing 2 or 3 times as many cards per year as they used to. And for me, what happens is I start to get overwhelmed and I start to tune out. And that's the main reason why I no longer really go to Friday Night Magic. I used to do, like, every time there was a new set coming out, I would go do all sorts of set releases. And I don't know what it is with my brain. But, like, when it was, hey, there's 4 sets a year, so there's going to be 4 pre-releases a year. I would look forward to it. Actually, let me give a metaphor. If they say, Sean, your favorite TV episode, or your favorite TV show has 1 episode a week, I understand how to wrap my head around that. Or if they say, Sean, this 1 season of a TV show just dropped on Netflix, you can binge the whole series. I know what to do with that. Oh, I won't do it this weekend, but maybe I'll do it next weekend. I do this all the time with my wife, right? We're grinding through Spider Noir right now. It's awesome. You know, some days we do 1 and skip some days. Other days we do 3. Ooh, feels great. But imagine if... But the thing that I would struggle with is if they were like, Sean, there's a new season of this TV show releasing every single day for a month. What it actually feels like is if I miss 2 weeks, I'm like, I guess I'm never going to watch that. I've missed the boat. I mean, even Love Island USA that releases 5 episodes a week. Britt and I fell off for a week because I was playing in my Age of Empires 2 tournament. And now it just feels too overwhelming to catch up to, so it's like, okay, I'm out. Okay, I'm done. I'm not going to watch this. And I mean, that's kind of how I feel about Magic. It's not that, oh, there's 4 pre-releases a year. Oh, but you could also attend some other events and maybe do, I'm just going to make up a number, 20 events a year. Oh, I'll just go down to my 4. For some reason, the sheer volume makes me feel overwhelmed and I disengage. So, I mean, this is... What's interesting, what's weird, what's bizarre, is that I don't necessarily know if it's a bad business move. And let me explain. I heard this argument about Lego, that Lego used to very deliberately have its own little sort of IP. And again, this is someone else's argument, so I'm sure I'm butchering it. But, like, Lego used to have, like, okay, here's a sort of, like, space-themed line and a city-themed line and a sort of medieval-themed line. And then they began to go, oh, if we just make Lego out of certain big IPs, you actually are serving a different kind of customer. Instead of a Lego regular who is trying to look at how to expand their existing set as these lines release new content, instead you get something like, oh, I'm a fan of Harry Potter, and I see that there is the ability to get Lego Hogwarts, so I will buy that. So it's I'm a hobbyist around this IP, and so I get this Lego thing here, and I get this plushie here, and I get this sweater here. And Lego has made a killing delivering for that style of customer. The argument that I have heard, and again, this is someone else's argument that I really liked, the argument could be, well, there's a certain kind of person who says, I play Magic. In each new set, I'm looking at how to extend my collection with these new lines of Magic cards to help build my modern deck or my standard deck or whatever. And what could be a very different kind of customer is someone that is aware Magic exists, and then they go, oh, I'm a big fan of Final Fantasy. I want to just get the Final Fantasy cards, because I think it'll be really fun to play this game of Magic with them. And I don't know anything about the internals of Wizards of the Coast business, but if I were in charge, I'd be like, oh, let's do these as supplementary sets and still have our own mainline stuff in there. Because I don't know, I am a big believer of, like, first-class value. You know, like, I play Magic for the gameplay, but also I love the characters of Chandra. I love doing Chandra Planeswalker Super Friends decks. I love that shit. I love all sorts of green ramp, green growth cards. It's fun to see familiar characters like, oh, look, Omnath, welcome back, buddy. I like new characters that enter, like, ooh, look at Uro. Ooh. This is a cool mechanic. Let's get Flage in there, baby. I like that. And if you made a custom set for, like, Warhammer 40k that I could play, I think the Warhammer 40k IP is cool. I like that. But I don't want one to replace the other. You know what I mean? Trillionaire said, do you think the constant references, crossovers, and partnerships is a sign of cultural stagnation at all? I don't even know what to think of cultural stagnation. I don't even know what that means in a lot of ways. Like... But, you know, if you said, Sean, what do you think about the constant references, crossovers, partnerships, and all this sort of stuff? I think creativity is incredibly difficult and takes a huge amount of work to get something that actually resonates with a large group of people. That's just incredibly hard to do. People are trying to do it all the time. And also, people love making purchasing decisions based upon stuff that resonates with them. For instance, I now want to go on Etsy and find Blueprints arts and crafts. I want to get a Blueprints scarf. I want more things that say Blueprints. I want little figurines and objects. Because I love this game so much. Elden Ring. I have told my wife that when we buy a house, I want an entire wall of my office to be the map of Elden Ring. That's what I want. And so, you know, people want this, right? Like if there's, you know, there's websites that do really high quality prints for posters or, you know, like big maps to put on walls that are able to sell things because they do partnerships with known IPs and stuff. Like, this is just true. So I think that there's something that I will defend, which is I think that there is absolutely nothing wrong with a company saying, hey, we're doing a partnership with this to make one of these things for this IP you've heard of a million times. I actually don't think there's anything wrong with that, because if it's a bad idea and no one buys it and it goes busto, there you go, open market at work. But there do exist a lot of people that get very excited by this kind of thing and really do genuinely, sincerely experience thrill and delight. Like, dude, the number of my friends that I saw on Twitter losing their minds about the Final Fantasy Magic the Gathering set. And showing little combinations as they took, like, you know, shitty phone caps of, like, their board. What time are we waiting for? We're waiting for 1:30 a.m., the sacred hour. So we still have another, maybe 40 minutes. So, I mean, like, this is a good screen grab. So yeah, I mean, like, I don't think there's anything wrong with doing that from a business perspective, but from, like, the specific kind of customer that I am and what I wish to be experiencing, I do feel a sense of sadness for the Magic that used to be. And I miss it, you know? I miss the idea of going to pre-release events and playing through stuff. And, you know, like, a business example that I have heard used elsewhere that I just think makes a ton of sense, which is, like, let's imagine there's a place that sells burgers, like hamburgers and chicken sandwiches. And I love the burger way more than the chicken sandwich, but virtually everyone else buys the chicken sandwich. And it turns out, trying to make orders for 2 different kinds of meats and have 2 different kinds of preparation tracks in their kitchen, they can actually save more money and make more money if they just go straight up all in on fried chicken sandwiches. Like, yeah, I mean, it sucks that I don't get my hamburger, but it does make... They're literally making a very logical decision. And I think sometimes people act like there's some mysterious... I don't know, there's almost like an evil decision that's being made. But, I mean, the way that I view a business is, in this fried chicken example, no one is forcing people to eat fried chicken sandwiches that they don't want. They're choosing to show up and choosing to opt into giving money for a tasty fried chicken sandwich. Even if I don't like it as much as their old burger, lots of other people are paying for this thing. And, you know, for something that is as unnecessary to purchase as Magic the Gathering cards, I do respect the fact that there are a shitload of people who love these Universes Beyond Magic sets. I mean, these people exist. And so, the best way I can describe my sadness about Magic is something where there's me and people like me, and they're this pie size. And then there's all these other people that adore Universes Beyond, and the size of this is bigger than the size of this. So maybe this is why they went to focus on these kinds of products. And even if they lose me and everyone like me, this pie is so much larger. Again, I'm the hamburger lover. These are the fried chicken sandwich lovers. And even though I feel some... excuse me. Even though I feel some sadness about this, there are so many amazing, ridiculously fun things to do out there that, you know, I'm interested in pursuing. I'm interested in engaging with. So there you go. That's my kind of thought. Aphis, as we talk about this, Aphis, as we talk about this kind of thing in dealing with product development efforts, and inevitably we continue to deal with tech debt, the Pareto charts don't lie. Yeah, I can imagine. So that's my thought on Magic Universes Beyond, and there you have it. I'm a fan of delicious flavors. At Day9, I have a dilemma. I'm on disability. I'm a brain tumor survivor. Hey, I'm glad that you got through that. My God, that must have been really intense to get through. So I have a choice between remaining on disability for the rest of my life and living in poverty forever, or risk trying to work again. Potential to lose badly needed medical insurance. I don't really feel it's even a choice to be made, but I also can't accept that this just being my reality for the rest of my life. So, I'm a fan of delicious flavor. I don't know any of the specifics about how medical insurance works, how being on disability works, how any of those things function. I don't know. My small familiarity with it, having friends who have spoken some about their experiences with disability, I know that there's weird things where, like, hey, if you want help on that thing, you could pay me cash, but, like, it has to be a one-time thing, because if anyone finds out that I did some work, I would lose my insurance. You know, there's things like that. So I don't know. However, again, just my limited understanding, my limited lens, I generally in life have found that there are always more options than what are presented to me. And I tend to view things in terms of the word right now. Like, well, I can't work right now, or I could go get a job right now. This is my situation right now. And all the positive, successful things in my life that have existed kind of come from finding a different path than either of the two that were presented to me. And that does sound weird to be in a situation where you're just like, all right, well, I'm just receiving this declaration of on disability, and then I just can't work, but I will be capped at an income level that means that I will be in poverty forever. Huh. That's a very weird existential kind of position to be in. For anyone. And I think that's a lot to chew. But again, were I in your shoes, I think that something that I would do is to not convince myself that it's this permanent path or that permanent path, and that's it, full stop. Like, here's an example of something that I have no idea about. Again, I cannot stress enough that I am not an expert on these things medically and insurance-wise. And you might be like, yeah, I've thought about that, and it literally doesn't work. Like, if you are spending time doing something that you don't earn any money on, like, let's pick a thing at random. Streaming on Twitch and making YouTube videos. Or a blog where you review comics, you know. And you are earning no money from it. But it is a purpose. It is something to work on. It is something to build. At one point, what if it had so much momentum that the choice is, actually, do I want to stay on disability with a cap on my income forever, or do this thing that very obviously will make this much money over this time horizon? And again, I'm almost sheepish continuing to give these examples because I know so little about this topic, and I do not want to be presumptuous about the spot that you're in. But given that we still have 4 more fucking hours in this game, I guess I'll keep going. Like, this is what happened with Day9 TV. Like, I did not intend for this to generate money. But what occurred was I was in my final year of graduate school. So it was the summer of 2010 when StarCraft 2 came out. I had been streaming for like a year before that. But all that streaming was not generating any money. In fact, I was paying money for video hosting and for streaming and all this stuff. And then StarCraft 2 came out, and it was then my final year of my master's program. And because it was the final year of my master's program, it was thesis year, and all of a sudden I'm being invited to go to StarCraft tournaments and stuff like this, to do hosting, to do casting. You know, my stream is getting really huge. I started to put the videos onto a service that ran ads, and I was generating actual money. What? And, you know, for a while, here was the choice I thought that I had. I thought the choice was, do I have to quit game dev and pursue this streaming thing? You know, is this a situation that it is? Do I have to literally stop my master's program and pursue this? Or do I have to keep doing my master's program? And I was really unsure because it was not making enough money to do that. But it felt like there was momentum. Ooh, God, but I don't know if I can have the time to actually do my master's thesis, which was to work on a game, and do this other thing, like do this streaming gig. Be going to events, doing all this shit. What do I do? What do I do? And I remember I decided that I had to take the opportunity to quit and pursue this streaming thing. And I told my professors, and they were like, dude, there's other options than this, man. And they actually suggested that I make what I was doing with streaming my senior thesis project. Because if I'm devoting a shitload of hours to this streaming thing anyways, and this is before Twitch even existed, if I'm devoting all my time to this, I may as well just write a thesis about it. And I was like, oh, I didn't realize that this was another path, you know? And I don't know, I think that the world often presents you with really simple, blunt paths for no other reason than it's incredibly easy to put people into boxes. It's so easy. Like, read any article about any small business where people talk about wearing multiple hats, you know, talking about indie games. Hey, here's an indie developer who is the programmer, who also does some of the music and learned enough audio design to do some of the sound effects, and they did Foley as well. They also handle the business registration and compliance for tax purposes. Here's an artist over here that also learned enough programming to help build a tool to help implement art better, you know, and also does the voice acting for the protagonist. And if you go up to one of those people and you say, hey, what did you do on the project? They'll actually list off a bunch of work. You know what a lot of people like to do? They like to go, so were you the engineer? And you're like, no, I did all these things. Okay, so were you like the producer then? Or were you like mostly an engineer? It's like people can only understand things in a certain box. And I hate being labeled and put into a box. It drives me insane. Even when people are doing it in very small ways that are very innocent, it makes me so irritated. You know, like, I remember I was saying to someone, yeah, I tend to operate pretty well under pressure. Like, if there's a deadline coming up and there's a lot of stuff to do, I can really get in the zone and get a bunch of stuff done. And they were like, oh, so you're one of those people that just waits till the last minute and does all the work at the last second. And I was like, what? No, that's not true at all. Oh, so you're someone who does things really early, so that way you don't have to do that. No, stop trying to make me a thing, you know. So yeah. I think that is a really weird situation to be in. But the thing that always gives me comfort is to say, oh, well, these are the options that I'm aware of right now. And I can always revisit it in a month. I can always do some research and look for new options. And also, I am allowed to make a decision in one of those buckets and just do nothing for 2 months and then look at it again. You're allowed to do that too. In fact, I think one of my favorite descriptions of how to work on anything is not come up with a good plan and then execute on it. It's start executing on random things until I feel like I really understand what's going right and wrong, and then come up with a plan and then execute it. Simple example, you saw me do this with Age of Empires 2. I'm just going to play a bunch of games so that I have a bunch of experience. Now that I have the experience, I know how to ask questions that I can use to come up with a plan of what to practice. And now I'm going to go practice that. So I'm a big fan of do first, think second, execute third. Navarre says, you're one of those people that don't like to be put in a box. It's the only label I'll accept. That's a half true, half false statement. All right, we still have what appears to be another 15 minutes and change. AMA. Jack Ars says, any podcast you'd recommend? One of my regulars ended up looking for more. I don't really listen to podcasts, except for The Economist. I listen to their daily podcasts and their sort of once-a-week podcasts that pepper through the week. I like The Economist quite a lot. Ooh, I love this question from Shadow Adam. Do you have any mathematical problems that you hope to see solved? I think the Riemann hypothesis is the big one. I mean, I think that's... I think that entire... The way that formula seems to have its tendrils piercing into all these different branches of math is just wild. I have a lifelong fascination with Fermat's last theorem, so I really like that one. And there's a number of things that are more recreational than necessarily have cool uses, you know, like the Collatz conjecture. Because the Collatz conjecture is take any number that's an integer, that is, any positive integer. If it's even, divided by 2, If it's odd, multiply it by 3 and add 1. And then just repeat this again and again and again and again. Does it go to 1? And thus far, it always seems to descend back down to 1. Because again, you can imagine 1. 1 times 3 plus 1 is 4. 4 divided by 2 is 2. 2 divided by 1 is 1. And it just loops, 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 loops. What if you start with 5? 5 times 3 is 15, plus 1 is 16. Divided by 2 is 8, and then 4, and then 2, and then 1. So it always descends back down to 1. What about 7? 7 times 3 is 21, plus 2 is 22. Alright, we got an even number. Divided by 2, we get 11. Hey, not even. Multiplied by 3, 33. Plus 1 is 34. Ooh, 34. That's even. Divided by 2, 17. Okay, 17 times 3 is 51. Plus 1 is 52. Divided by 2, 26. Divided by 2, 13. 3 times 13 is... Oh, we're getting close. 3 times 13 is 39. Plus 1 is 40. 40 divided by 2 is 20. Divided by 2 is 10. Divided by 2 is 5. Oh, no, that one didn't descend to 1. Oh, wait, no, then 5. Oh, I did that correctly. 5 times 3 is 15, plus 1 is 16, which is the power of 2, so it descends all the way down. Yeah, 7 times 3 plus 1 is 22. I may have misspoke. Yeah, so I mean, like that conjecture, they always go all the way down to 1. So, like, is that true? Is that false? I don't know if there's been any work on it. But the Riemann hypothesis is the one that I think is really interesting. Lots of number file hours logged. Oh, have they been covering it? I mean, honestly, this is just pop math shit, and number file covers a lot of pop math shit. Big J says, if you could live your life over again, is there one thing within your control that you would change? All sorts of shit, Big J. There's a ton of things! Oh my god, I feel like all that growing as a person is looking back at something you did last week and going, shouldn't have done that shit. Better not do it again. And that's how change exists. That's what it means to try to improve oneself as a person. I think that everyone, everywhere, is constantly fucking things up endlessly. That's all that anyone is ever doing. And trying to learn from it and try to better themselves. And still screwing up in different ways, but not messing up in the original ways. I mean, shit, there's things I regret doing in middle school that I'm like, I really wish I went back in time to middle school and cut this shit out. Non-Fungible Taco says, would you go back and be the WoW degenerate of the mid-2000s? Dude, I will be honest. I know a lot of people describe, oh yeah, no, when I was in my 20s, all I did was play WoW. Oh, that was it. Oh yeah, but like, I never have really met anyone that I hear regrets that. Everyone I hear about is like, well, I know I'm supposed to say I regret it, but that was fucking awesome. That is way more often what I hear. Man. Yeah, wouldn't trade it for the world. True. Yeah, no, I mean, it's just amazing. It's just awesome. Oh, here's an interesting one. Super Rodent says, is there a movie or television show you love? Genuinely, not because it's fun to make fun of, where your opinion seems to be the opposite of general society. Is there something I love that people don't like? Huh. Because, I mean, like, for instance, one thing that comes to mind is, like, the Twilight movies. I love those fucking movies. Those are awesome. They're so fun to watch. But they are some of the most popular movies of all time, so I'm just another nerd, you know, in there. I think a movie that didn't get good reviews and did poorly financially that I thought was excellent is Guy Ritchie's King Arthur movie. I mean, that movie was fucking awesome. I loved that movie. I give that like a 9 out of 10. I thought it was terrific. It's so good. I didn't even hear that it came out. I feel like some suit with a spreadsheet was like, oh, it's not going to do as well as another Star Wars movie, so we better not market it and send it direct to video. I'm trying to think of anyone that's actually controversial. Maybe this is actually controversial. I liked the second half of Death Note. I remember finishing Death Note and being like, that was awesome. Let's find out what any of my peers think. And everyone was like, at the moment that the event happened, that, of course, we all know what I'm talking about, it went to shit. Yeah, after the moment that we're all thinking of, yeah, it was, I mean, that was a dramatic moment. You know, the author was like, oh, this is going to be crazy, people are going to love this. And everyone was like, I fucking hate you because you made me so happy up to this point, and I think that if bad things happen to you, I will celebrate. I won't hurt you, but I won't save you. Definitely is one of my favorite TV shows of all time. Really love that. I think that's maybe the best that I got. I think that's the best that I got. Dude. Optimi Z Nation says, good evening, Day9 in chat. Hope you all are doing good. Have you tried the new RTS demo, Dustfront? Pretty fun, IMO. Really hard, but fun. I have been aware of Dustfront for a while. I mean, basically anything that is RTS or RTS adjacent, I am aware of. But, like, the camera angle in the demo is so bad. I just looked at it and went, I'm not going to play that. I'm not going to touch that. I mean, my God. I mean, because, like, StarCraft has something like a 60-degree angle, or, like, maybe it's like, I think it's like 62 at this angle, and, like, so you can kind of see your troops on the ground. It's not, like, directly overhead, you know, but it's kind of like at this angle, but so you get a little bit of parallax, you get a little bit of things obscuring other things. But, like, Dustfront is, like, here, so it's almost like you're watching a football match. And beyond that, I don't really know too much about it. Oh yeah, I know the dev is pro-Putin, which I am very not. If I buy Dustfront, I'll send twice as much money to Ukraine. Buzzician. Ooh, here we go. Says, any advice about gaining confidence? You seem like a confident guy, or at least confident enough to move forward, if that makes sense. This is an interesting question. This is an interesting question. How to gain confidence. Oh my God, Apo Koala with the 100 gifted subs. Holy shit, Apo Koala, what did we do? You're making me unconfident. Holy shit, Apo Koala, to what do we owe the honor on this fine day? Can't pass up such a great deal. Oh my goodness. Apo Koala, Jesus, thank you. Now, for those of you who don't know, Apo Koala has been an insanely regular gifter in this channel. I mean, let's see this. Is there a way to? Back I say. Is there a list? Yeah, you've done over 1,000 gift subs. I don't don't know if it shows the exact number anywhere. One of our longest timers. Our very longest timers. So, but Bazisian, I'm thinking about this confidence question, and it looks like I have about 10 minutes to tell you my thoughts on this. About 10 minutes. Hey, Peanut Phobia, thanks for the paying forward. Mwah. I think there's a number of things that I do speech-wise that come across as confidence. And I want to talk about those first. So, I think a really big one is keep your volume going all the way to the end of the sentence and maybe even increase it. Don't let your volume go down. Don't speak in this kind of way that then lets you go down this way. There are so many not very funny things that I say that because I'm kind of pushing out more volume at the end of the sentence, whether someone laughs or not, no one gets awkward around me. Like, I've been at a dinner where I say a joke and I'm like, and here's the punchline. And no one laughs, but also no one's like... And it's not like I start quiet and then I like, start yelling! Ah! But I mean, it's like I will talk, and if I'm talking and I'm just keeping this kind of volume and intensity, I keep it all the way to the end of the sentence. There you go. I think this is a super good trick. Evenness of volume reads as confidence. Other things that I have said and done that, again, read as confident, even though they aren't necessarily confident. Be willing to take big pauses. Big pauses. For instance, if someone said, hey, Sean, what do you think about Blueprints' design overall? I might go, huh, let me think on that. And imagine if I went, huh, let me think. I mean, I guess that it, well, I think that the design, well, let me actually back up a little bit. Like, I mean, I do that shit on air all the time, but contrast this with if I went, let me think. I think there's three things I really like about the design. Like, that was an insanely long pause. You just let yourself do that. And if you combine it with the volume thing, people will just give you more space when you're talking. They'll just give you more space. And it's weird to have it happen. Like, I've been in the middle of a story where, let's say, I pause the way that I did just then. People wait. I've been at dinner tables where people wait for like 20 seconds and then I just keep going and it's fine. It's weird. It's like really weird. So that's one thing that I'm going to say that, like, I think was really powerful for me in my life, is just being very deliberate with, like, volume and varying my cadence as I talked. Honestly, through copying. Looking at a video clip of someone who sounded not confident and going, okay, what is it they're doing? Oh, they're trailing off the end of their sentence. Oh, they're starting to talk and they're trying to speed up and get to the end. Don't speed up. Slow down. Keep your volume level the same. Be comfortable pausing. And just wait. Wow, people respond really positively to that. Now, what gives me the actual feeling of confidence? Here's two things that I will share. Because there's tons of times when I'm not confident at all. I have as many insecurities as the next person. The biggest thing that I would recommend is when you have anxious energy, don't try to push it down. Don't try to calm down. Don't try to get to a calm place. Don't do that. Spend the energy. If I'm talking and I'm nervous, sometimes when I'm on stream, I'm nervous. Not even about what this is. Maybe I have something tomorrow that I'm stressed about, and I feel the nerves. You know what I'll do? I will talk louder. This doesn't mean I'm going to scream. Like, here's an example. Here is more like my normal speaking voice, right? This is kind of how I would talk if I'm just like hanging out talking to someone on the phone. But if I'm nervous, notice how I'm projecting just a little bit more. This takes just a little bit more effort. And if I get that pang of anxiety, I might inflect a little more. But then I'm going to go back to kind of a firm, strong speaking voice. And then if I'm starting to feel chill, I'm actually okay going down to a little bit more of a normal speaking pace, speaking cadence, and in particular speaking intensity. But if you're feeling anxious, use the energy. In fact, overuse it. Use that energy until you actually feel a little tuckered. Project your voice until you've actually worn out the adrenaline in your system. And what will happen is that your body will begin to just feel fine, because all that energy you got from the adrenaline has been used up, and great. And then suddenly, this loop starts to happen where if you feel a little energy of stress kick up, or unconfidence or nervousness, and you spend the energy and quickly start to feel okay, you'll psychologically start feeling as stressed about your own nervousness and your own insecurity and any of that other stuff. So that's another thing. Hey, have a good night, April Quella. Thank you again for not just the 100 gift subs, but the 177-month subscription. You'll be one of the very first 200 month in a rows here on Twitch. And thank you for the 177 months of support, April. Mwah. Hope Star Citizen comes out. All right, another little confidence hack. What was I going to say? So I was talking about the feeling comfy and cozy. I remember what it was. By the way, notice that I had something in my head and I forgot. And I said, give me 1 second, let me think about it. I have been in business pitch meetings where I'm doing a pitch and I go, oh wait, I just lost my train of thought. Give me just 1 second. And I have sat silently for 30 seconds and then gone, yes, I remember, thank you so much. Or sometimes I go, my train of thought just totally blanked. We were just talking about this. What was I talking about? Can you remind me? What was it that I was going to say? And they'll say stuff, and then I'm just okay with that. And then I pick back up, and it's totally fine. But yeah. Another really helpful thing that I have found to, again, come across as confident. I believe there's a world of difference between coming across as confident and doing confident actions and feeling that. Because again, a lot of days I do not feel confident, even though I sound it and maybe I'm doing things that come across that way. But I am a huge fan of successes are awesome and amazing. Failures are hilarious. Failures are fucking hilarious. There are no such things as bad things. There are good things and good stories. And I used to spend time deliberately imagining things going wrong and thinking, what is funny about this? What can I enjoy about this? You will see this attitude constantly in this game. It's just last time I waited till 1:30 in the morning and nothing happened. I thought that was hilarious. And it hurt, and I communicated my pain, but I also found the pain funny. I practiced doing this when I used to get really upset when I would go on losing streaks in StarCraft. And, you know, I could feel my brain doing things like, well, the only reason I lost was reason X, Y, Z. That's the only thing that happened, right? It's not, oh, God, I could feel, like, excuses starting to boil up. No, you don't understand. Like, I haven't practiced that very much, and that's all that's happening. You know, all this sort of thing. And then, of course, you know what happens? You get made fun of. Probably rightfully so. So freaking excited. And so I started being like, I need to just calm my ass down. I need to just stop being so freaking stressed about this shit all the time. And just finding things funny was really helpful. And I mean, like, you can kind of see this pattern in what I'm describing. Which is like, you have stress, you burn the energy, so you loop back to feeling calm. You start to fail and eat shit, but then you find it funny and it loops you back to calm, right? I just find these little off-ramps to get back to this feeling that actually everything is totally fine. Is the sacred hour upon us? Okay. Oh my god. Oh, I'm so unconfident right now. Alright, the sacred hour is almost upon us. Here it comes. Is it in here? Oh, come on. Please be right. God, can you imagine if this game had crashes? It's just a memory leak that built up over time within a run. Oh my god, JerTM with the 5 gifted subs. Oh my god. Oh yeah. These clocks should be set to a different time. 5 of these clocks should be set to a time ending on the hour. Set this clock to a time containing all different numbers. This clock's neighbors should both be set to a time containing a 7. This clock should not be set on the hour ending. None of these... oh my god, I'm so excited. Oh my god, I'm so excited. The Rubicin just gifted 5. We're doing it. We got a puzzle. I repeat, we got a puzzle. We got a puzzle. Okay, wait. I gotta look at something. Okay, so this wasn't a found floor plan. I see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh man, I need to use the restroom. Okay. The clocks are positioned so that their times will go up in ascending order. Not. The clock should be set to a time that contains the same 3 numbers of another clock, here, but in reverse order. And these clocks should be set to the times that contain the number 1, 2, 3, or 4. How much granularity do I get? I get granularity. Oh my god. I need to use the restroom. I'll be right back. Okay. Oh my god, it's time to do some midnight puzzle solving. Okay. Reverse order. None of these clocks should serve the container. Is that so? Okay. It should be set on the hour. This clock's neighbors should both be set to a time containing a 7. So this one has to be exactly 7. The reason being, this clock's neighbors should both be set to a time containing a 7. This could be 317, 701, whatever it is. But this says this clock should not be set on the hour. This is red, so it should be set on the hour. So this is 7. Set this clock to a time containing all different numbers. Set this clock to a time containing at least some numbers that have the same thing. 5 of these clocks should be set to a time ending on the hour. Really? How many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Each of these clocks should be set to a different time. No, they're not. So this clock should be set to a time that contains the same 3 numbers of another clock, but in reverse order. So the thing is, do we think that it could be a 007? By the way, I see that you added me a question. I ain't gonna read that. I'm so sorry, I'm in Puzzle Town. Let's see, the clock should be set to the same 3 numbers, another clock in reverse order. So if it was 713, then this would be 317. But if it's 700, could it be 007? Plausibly. None of the clocks we shut to times contain the number 2, 3, or 4. So that means of the 5 clocks that contain things that are on the hour, that only leaves 5, 6, not 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Okay. Can't be 11, can't be 12. Can't be 10. Okay, so that means it's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. None of these clocks should be set to times contain 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that means one of them is 5 o'clock, one is 6, one is 7, one is 8, one is 9. We know that for a fact now. Okay, this actually narrows down a lot. So this could be 50... So the hours can only be set to 5, 6, 7's already covered, 8, and 9. Now, we already know that from this one, 5 of these clocks should be set to a time ending on the hour. So what that means is that if it's ending on the hour, it would be 1 o'clock, or 2 o'clock, or 3 o'clock, or 4 o'clock. But it can't be those times because they contain that digit. So therefore, that's only 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. We already know one of the clocks is 7 because this one says this clock's neighbors should both be set to a time containing a 7. This is on the hour. Shouldn't be that. This is a false statement, so it should be that. So this is on 7. This is correct. Excellent. So if we think about the minutes then, so it could be 0 minutes, 05, 06, 07, 08, 09. It could also be 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60. So it's actually just in that first or the last. So it can be at minute 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9. Or it could be at minute 50, 55, 56, 57, 59. Okay, really significant clue. So this clock's to a time containing all different numbers. So this clock should be set to a time containing a 7, so it needs to contain a 7. So could be 7:55, could be 7:57. Are those the only ones? It could be 5:57. Could be 7:57. 7:55 or 7:57. Those are the only ones that work. Or I guess 7:07 works. Same with the 5 and with the 0. So it'll be 7:07. Okay. 5 of these clocks should be set to a time ending on the hour. Each of these clocks should be set to a different time. This clock should be set to a time that contains the same 3 numbers of another clock, but in reverse order. So there's actually many solutions, huh? So let me just make this 5. So this is 7:55. This is 5:57. So now this says this clock's neighbor should both be set to a time containing a 7. So this is 5:57, so it contains a 7. Also, set this clock to a time containing all different numbers. Nope, there needs to be at least 2 numbers that match. This is 5:57. It could be that all 3 of them match, but I'm doing 5:57 because there's no such thing as 7:77. This is 5:57, and then this one is... This clock should be set to a time that contains the same 3 numbers of another clock, but in reverse order. So this is 7:55. So that's totally fine. I'm going to set this one to 5. And these clocks should set this. So I'm going to go ahead and set this one to 7:07. So 7:06. 7:06 is totally fine. So we've done. So let's just set this one to 6. Make this 8 o'clock. That's totally fine. Make this one 9. Okay. Okay. Clocks are positioned so that their times will go up in ascending order. Okay, so this is false. The clocks are positioned so that their times will not go up in ascending order. Now, it could be that means that it needs to be descending. This is a sort of math statement, which is it that it's ascending? Is the opposite of ascending descending? Or is it that the opposite of ascending is not necessarily ascending? So let's just first verify that we've done everything. So right now, these are in kind of an arbitrary order with times all over the place, which was deliberate to test this hypothesis. The second one is this clock should be set to a time that contains the same 3 numbers of another clock, but in reverse order. 7:55 reversed is 5:57. Excellent. So this qualifies. None of this clocks should contain 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. None of them contain 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. This clock should not be set on the hour. No, in fact, it should be set on the hour. It should be 7. This clock's neighbors should both be set to a time containing a 7. This has a 7. This has a 7. This clock, set this clock to a time containing all different numbers. So this is 7:55. Contains, actually this is a lie. Set this clock to a time containing all different numbers. No, set this clock to a time containing all this, some of the same number. So that's where 557 comes from. Because it contains a 7, and it's the reverse of this. 5 of these clocks should be set to a time ending on the hour. So we do have that. We have 6, 8, 7, 9, and 5. And this is, each of these clocks should be set to a different time. All of these are different. Okay, so what we see now is that this didn't work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to interpret this now as that the clocks are positioned so that their times will go up in ascending order. Nope. They will be in descending order. Let's take this more literally. So this is a descending order. Then this needs to be, same 3 numbers, and another clock here in reverse order. So this would make this 557. What's nice about this is that with 557, that would make this one very clearly be on 6. Because now we're descending. It's not in ascending order, it's in descending order. So we already know this is 7, 7, 6. Great. So this is 7. This needs to contain the reverse, so this means that this will be 755. So now what we have is we have 5, 6, 7, some... This can't be 8. This is 755, so then this is going to be 8. And then this, therefore, is 9. Now, the thing is that we do have a duplicate on this 8, but we need this to be somewhere between 7 and 755. So I'm going to do 701. Why not? No, I won't, because 701 doesn't work. So we're going to do a 705. 5, 557, 6, 7, 705, 755, 8, 9. So what if it needs to contain all the same numbers? Doesn't work, does it? Never been awake so late in my life. Oh, okay, so there's an interpretation here, which is it 3 unique numbers? Try 507. So this is one of these moments where I'm not exactly sure what it is that I'm missing. So we're going to go through these again. The clocks are positioned so that their times will go up in ascending order. I interpret this to mean from left to right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. These will just go up. So I made them go down. I also did them in a random order. This clock should be set to a time that contains the same 3 numbers of another clock here, but in reverse order. Now it says the same three numbers. We know those numbers can't be 1, 2, 3, or 4. So my brain goes, well, what if it was like 4 digits reverse? Like, for instance, is 12 midnight, like 1200? Is that the same thing as 00 21? I would say no. The reason being, if 1, 2, 3, and 4 can't be a time in any of them, this needs to be a 3-digit number. And because it's a 3-digit number, this would lead me to believe that the reverse of 705 is 507. This says none of these clocks should be set to times that contain the number 1, 2, 3, or 4. Great. What is going on in chat? I see twist it, pop it, pull it, turn it. I mean, my God. I don't get the reference. Chat is mostly confused. Great, good. Good to see it. None of these should be set to times that contain those numbers. Great. This clock should not be set on the hour. It should be set on the hour. This clock's neighbors should both be set to a time containing A7. Five of these clocks should be set to a time ending on the hour. Great. Each of these clocks should be set to a different time. So I did it. Oh shit, I don't know what I'm doing wrong then. Now, why is this one red, but in a different script? So here's going to be my new assumption. The clocks. So there's 3 ways to interpret this. The most basic way is that these clocks are positioned so that their times will go up in ascending order. We assume that, hey, because this is red, that means okay, let me get that thought out of my brain. Because this is red, what does this mean? I think that what this means, just thinking of it in a very basic way, is that this is red. Red means it is a false statement. The clocks are positioned so that their times will go up in ascending order. This is a false statement. So there are 2 possible falsifications depending upon how this game does logic. One of them is you just put not somewhere in here. Right? This is like the true math way of doing it. The clocks are positioned so that their times will go up not in ascending order. So this means ascending order would be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not ascending order could be 2, 1, 3, 4, 5. Or 4, 5, 3, 2, 1. You know, like any order that isn't ascending. It is appropriate. Now, the second way to state that this is falsifying is you do the English opposite of the word. So you'd say the clocks are positioned so that their times will go up in descending order. Because you'd say, well, the opposite of ascending is descending. Now, this is not necessarily true. You know, a simple example is, oh, someone is tall. What's the opposite of that? Not tall. That could mean that they are average height or short. The opposite of tall is not short. Or excuse me, the negation of tall is not short. The opposite of tall is short, but the negation of tall is not tall, which means average or short. So what I did is I've tested these 2 things. I've tested the opposite of... I've tested the negation of this, and I've also tested the opposite of this. Now, here's a third thing that I'm thinking. I think that this is written in a completely different typeface than these. These are all different. So what I'm starting to think is someone maybe sabotaged this by taking a true statement and making it a false statement and putting this in red. So I think that this might be a true statement. The clocks are positioned so that their times will go up in ascending order. I think that that might be just a true statement. So this would be 9. This would be 7. This would need to be 8:55. I want to check one more assumption. This clock should be set to a time that contains the same 3 numbers of another clock here, but in reverse order. Yeah, this is each of these clocks should be set to a different time. Each of these clocks should contain different numbers. 5 of these clocks should be set to a time ending on the hour. So this would be 9, 8, 7, which is fine. This would be something 7, 6. So this I'm going to make my 5. I'm going to make my 6. This is 5 and 6. So we know that this is 7. So we need 2 numbers between 6 and 7. Between 6 and 7. This would need to be 650. Shit. Alright, so we have 9, 8, 56, 8, 7, just behind 7. So this is 657. 655, actually, is... No, that doesn't work, does it? So then I'm going to set this one to 6. This is 557. This doesn't work, does it? So I'm working to the assumption that they do need to be in ascending order. They need to be in ascending order. So this is 9, because that's the highest number that we can have. And this needs to be 3 of another in a reverse order. So this can't be ending on an hour. Technically it could. So, okay. So, again, I'm going to state my assumption. My assumption is that this thing that's in red, this is actually a true statement. I think that this is a true statement. I think that this is a true statement. That's what my claim is going to be. Why? Because the text looks different. I'm going to do a little peek here. Hmm. Well, you know what's fun is that it spells sacred down this way. Sacred. I don't think there's ever been a red note that has actually been true, but I think it's true. So, each of these clocks should be set to a different time. 5 of these clocks should be set to a time ending in the hour. And also, none of these clocks should be set to times that contain the number 1, 2, 3, or 4. That means that there are 5 clocks that are 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 o'clock. Those have to exist. Those are the only 5 on the hour things that could even exist. So that therefore means that this clock should not be set on the hour. It does need to be set on the hour. This clock's neighbors should both be set to a time containing a 7. This has to be on the hour, so this has to be 7. This is like our starting assumption, is that this is 7. Now, does this do AM and PM, or is it just... No. So one of these is 5, 6, 7, and 8. Are there 2 times between 6 and 7 that contain a 7? There's no 677, there's no 667. Because we might say, hey, is this 657? This says this clock, set this clock to a time containing all different numbers. So this doesn't actually work. Because I can actually get them to all be in descending order. Like, here's the descending order solution, is that this is 9. This is 8. This is 755. Then this is 7. Oops. 706 is totally fine. This is 7. This is 6. This is 557. And this is 5. See, the clocks are positioned so that their times will go up in ascending order. I mean, 5, 557, 6, 7, 706, 755, 8, 9. So these go down. I don't think any rules are broken. What's weird is that this one has no restrictions on it. It says no restrictions on it. This has to have a 7, and this has to have a 7. This one says, set this clock to a time containing all different numbers. Now, the one thing that we haven't done is try to make this like 555. Or, no, that can't be the case, because all the same numbers but containing a 7 would be 777, so that just doesn't work. I literally feel like I have the solution right now. Set this clock to a time containing all different numbers. No, you can actually have some overlapping numbers. So 755 is fine. 5 of these clocks should be set to a time ending on the hour. All right, here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Each of these clocks should be set to a different time. Yep, it's doing it. Shit. Shit. Or what about this one? This clock should be set to a time that contains the same 3 numbers of another clock. But in reverse order. 5:57, 7:55. Am I missing something? Is there a hidden note explaining a restriction that I don't know yet? I'm not gonna get this shit, am I? I'll be honest. I literally feel as though I have solved the puzzle. Purifies is wanting a particular hint or confirmation. Not quite yet. Problem is, I need to leave soon. Nine, 8, 7:55, 7:06, 7, 6, 5:57, 5. So these are going in descending order. What? I'm very confused. The clocks are positioned so their times will go up in ascending order. So, like, here's the thing. If I do this and go 5, 6, 6. So now they are in neither ascending nor descending order. But all conditions are met. 755, the opposite of this, is 557. So I'm going to work under the following theory that they actually need to be descending. So, or excuse me, ascending order. So this means that this could be like 9. This would be 8. This is 7. This would be 6 and 5. It doesn't have to be the case. We can also go like 7. This could be 6. So that one's 8. This needs to be the reverse of something. This would need to be something like 855. 850 something. So this just makes things in ascending order. So 9, 8, 7, 6. 5. This is 6. This needs to be... This would be 5. So I think that they do need to be in ascending order. That's my current theory. 5, 557, 6, 7, 8. So there can't be anything less than that. Is there a way to make this ascend the entire time? Let's do this. So if this is 7, so if this is 5, 6, yeah, I got it. It was ascending. It was ascending. It was a trick. I got it. I was correct. I was right. I was right. I knew it. First, I needed to convince myself. That it wasn't the negation and it wasn't the opposite. I don't know why that is that way, though. I'm so confused. Still. I don't understand. Where even am I? I'm really in the think tank. So was the red note true? It appeared to be true. But I don't know what to do with that. So, you know what? Hostile Gato says, I struggle with the exact same way. I can explain if you want. It's kind of annoying. Sure. I would love an explanation, as long as it's not too spoilery. If it's like, well, something you don't know is that, you know, Billy Joel was the reason that there was a traitor in the midst, and so there you go. The real answer is a spoiler. Okay. I am really confused. What am I doing? Sorry, my head is still in the clock tower right now. Hell yeah. Ah. Morajai. Or is this Vera? I think it's Morajai. Don't know anything about Morajai. It is a puzzle box society. Alright. I am going to actually go back into that room and then leave. I am so baffled by that one room. Oops. Can't believe there's still 3 rooms I've never even seen in this game. Oh. You know, it says, at the risk of sounding annoying, is this your first Blueprint stream since you're a long time away from the game? I don't really know. I've been doing them sporadically. Should be down south. South, and then I go east until I hit the aquarium, and I go south. Why would this mean that? Here's the only explanation that I can think of that makes sense to me. This is the only explanation that I can think of. Which is that on the inside of the clock tower, the time is reversed. So, like, ascending in one direction is descending in the other. That's the only thing I can think of. But I think that the lore-appropriate one that I think is interesting... how do I get here? Jesus. The only thing that I can think of is that it was a false liar note. That's like the only thing that I can think of. This is the longest day I've ever had in this dang game. Man. I'm so annoyed. Now, I'm happy that I got that Sanctum key, but the one at the station and the King and the Throne... I got nothing. I do have exactly one angle that I think that I could potentially do. Exactly one. Oh man, that's really pretty. Never been up this late. It's almost morning time again. Holy fuck. Woohoo, I'm rich. I'm going to call it a day in the break room. See, like, these are the exact notes that I was thinking of. Game rules. I'll be back next week for some Age of Empires 2. Got some other RTS games in our future. Zero Space entering into early access. Red Alert 2. Liquidation. Heard about. Man, I'm excited. See you later, fellow alligators. Bye, bye, bye.